Dad, 450.
For jousting, Sticks. Tell him he's dreaming.
G'day, baggers, and welcome back to Blue Baggers Edge. And, of course, we are a couple of days into the trade period, and we've seen enough news, rumours swirling around about potential player movement, and it's awfully exciting, of course. Great time of year for us fans. But today I come at you with a bit of an interesting video, and I thought it deserved its own video outright and discussion point because it does surround Matt Owies. And not really much has been spoken about over the past couple of days, at the very least, over the trade period kicking off. Enough speculation has been generated, in the weeks preceding. It's come out that the club said to Owies that he can pursue opportunities elsewhere. And I guess in isolation, was a lot of confusion around that, didn't really make much sense. And it seemed as though there was a little bit bubbling beneath the surface that we hadn't yet heard or seen about. Well, today is where we get a bit more of an insight. Let me transition across here to the article that has been reported on the Herald Sun about an hour and a half ago as I record this, and it is titled, "Huge Asking Price Could Leave Blue Out in the Cold." And I'll read a couple of lines here. Carlton forward Matt Owies is at risk of being out of the AFL completely in 2025 due to the club's unwillingness to stump up a significant salary for the small forward. Owies, who bid 33 goals in 23 games this season, is out of contract and exploring options at rival clubs, with the Blues seemingly prepared to lose him. Obviously, he's met with Gold Coast, Brisbane, West Coast as reported clubs. Now, this is where the interesting part is. Officials at rival clubs are expecting Owies' asking price to be around $700,000 to $800,000 per season on a multi-year deal, but his management has not engaged in advanced talks with the clubs yet. The Herald Sun understands Carlton might offer that to Owies and is yet to formally put forward an extension. In light of this news, I was someone who was keen on keeping Owies, obviously kicking 33 goals for the year in a career best season for him, coming off, I think it was, high 20, 28 thereabouts that he kicked the season before, is enough output, I think, for someone that deserves an extra contract. And I was a little bit, annoyed at the club in the fact that they hadn't yet offered him an extension as yet. But now seeing this, it totally makes sense. If his management have thought to themselves, okay, he's had a career best year, let's go to Carlton and, say to them, obviously they don't have really good depth behind Owies in terms of, reliable depth. They've got, youngsters in Motlop and Durden who are still developing, Ashton Moyer going into his second year. Let's use it to our advantage and really put a massive price tag on the head of Owies. Now, if that is their train of thought, they are complete rookies. It's obvious that, managers and whatnot, management teams, they get a percentage of whatever the contract is that's signed for a player. This is super, super greedy if that's the case. I will say that Owies is obviously taking direction from his management, but he still has to have ownership as well. And he would know full well, what his teammates are getting paid. And the fact that the salary cap is probably the tightest it's ever been. You only need to look at Walsh, what he's getting paid, Charlie, Harry, TDK's coming out of contract next season. We still need to re-sign him. We're still trying to re-sign him to a 6-year deal, upwards of 800,000 plus. That's the sort of coin that is deserving of, a player of his quality. So for Owies, who, by all, due respect, really, he's a small forward. And yes, he kicked 33 goals, which is right up there in the high bracket if you compare it to other small forwards at other clubs. But I just think it's a complete slap in the face to the club. It's almost like his management are burning bridges to an extent here. Just the utter disrespect that they've afforded the club. And I know it's a business and they're trying to get some extra dollars. And they were probably thinking, okay, well, Carlton will come back with a renewed offer. I wonder if it's the case where, the club have just flat outright been like, no, we're not going to offer that money, and haven't offered another contract off the back of it because of, feeling so, disrespected in a sense, because, we took Owies on as a Category B rookie and we showed faith in him and developed him. And to his credit, yes, he's come on and he's been performing, but at no way, shape or form is he deserving of a contract offered between 700 to 800,000 per season. That is a joke. Even if we wanted to offer that, we couldn't. That'd be stupid of the club to do so, but we still couldn't do that. It'd be, disrespecting ourselves to be so flamboyant with throwing money around like that. But if his management think that, there's going to be another club out there willing to pay, for him for that sort of money, they are absolutely dreaming, as I say in the castle.
Tell him he's dreaming.
Because there is no way that another team's going to pay that sort of coin for Matt Owies. So where to from here? We'll just have to wait and see. I am going to predict that that Owies management team are going to come back with the tail between their legs, because they're going to scour the market, find out that no other team's going to be willing to pay that sort of money, and they'll have to lower their rates. And I just hope for his sake that, as I said, they haven't come out too hard and disrespected the club by putting such a massive price on his head. And if that's the case, then, relations is pretty much done, and he'll have to go to another club and, lower rate, everything else, and go from there. But it's so funny in the context of, Owies, he's one of the more passionate players to play in the Navy Blue in recent seasons. Every time he kicks a goal, he's doing that. He's beating the chest. He's holding the monogram, doing that sort of stuff. And then you read this, and it's like, I think it's genuine by Owies, and it's I think, to me, obvious that it's his management that is pushing this, and it's a cash grab. But come on, you got to have your wits about you, and hopefully Owies turns around and is like, well, it's not going to work, and we need to lower our rates. But yeah, as I said, is it too far gone? Have they disrespected the club too much? We'll just have to wait and see. But we will end things with a couple of words here from Nick Austin, who, obviously with the recruiting managers congregating at Marvel yesterday to kick off the first day of trade period. He mentioned, just in context of Owies, he was asked about him, and he said, yes, he's kicked a lot of goals. He's had a good season. Our front half is going to actually look a little bit different next year, which is interesting for him to say. Jack Silvani missed the whole year. We want to get games into Ashton Moyer as well. So Silvani's an interesting one. I spoke about it in a previous video that there's potential there for him to continue playing forward, or maybe even being switched back, which may allow an extra position for Ashton Moyer. And he said that we felt that he showed things late in the season, and we have a lot of faith in Jesse Motlop and Corey Durden to come through. They've had a lot of injury troubles this year, but we need to create a pathway for those guys to step up and take more responsibility. So it seems to me like, reading between the lines, taking the high ground, trying to pretty much send a message to Owies' management that, we're happy to move on without you if you're not willing to renegotiate the terms of the deal that you're putting forward. So interesting times to see what happens from here. He may no longer be in the Navy Blue. Just in context of this, I think, probably makes a bit more sense now, doesn't it? Well, that's it, ladies and gents. Thank you, as always, for tuning in. Let us know your thoughts, of course, your initial reactions. Keen to hear, as always, in the comment section down below. And if you are yet to subscribe to our channel, if you're new here, feel free to do so, because every bit of support in the form of a subscription does help our video content get out there to the masses. YouTube see it, and they're like, you know what? Let's work it into the algorithm. And they will show it to a few more blue baggers out there. So really do appreciate your support, as always, and especially over the past couple of weeks. Absolutely has blown us away with the number of subscribers that we've had. So really, really do appreciate it. But we will see you in the next video, when we will be giving you a little bit more of a comprehensive look over the first 2 days of the trade period. But that's it. Bit of a special edition video, this one. We'll see you in the next one. All the best. Go Baggers.
Have you ever heard the MCG like that? Are you kidding me? Are you kidding me?